Hello, welcome. I'm Valentin Villaluz. I'm with Mirth Films, and you are Brando Rich, the CEO and founder of CashorTrade. Some people have called you the champion of the face value tickets. And what does that mean to you?
Well, thanks, Valentine. Appreciate you guys having me. The champion of face value tickets. That's awesome. I haven't heard that one yet. My brother and I started Cash or Trade like 10 years ago. And just being fans ourselves, we realized that something was wrong in the industry. And being web designers for a long time, we kind of decided to build something that was just for fans so they could buy, sell, and trade tickets and just keep it at face value at the cost that they got it for. And, these are like life experiences that we value deeply and we know others do as well. So, it just seems right to just like when you find out you can't go and you're like bummed about it, you just like pass it on to somebody else who, will enjoy it as much as you would. So,
And you talk about the cost that you got it for, which is like really important because a lot of ticket resale services, we're not going to name them, but they offer their services at enormous fees, and sometimes it's like close to the cost of the ticket, and that's a huge bummer. And you guys have done that very differently, but it's by fans for fans, face value, no fees, and that has like caused you guys to move into a new escrow service because before with PayPal that was how you insured the tickets, but there was fees involved with that. Can you tell me about it?
So I mean, there's always fees for the service that's provided, So like, when Ticketmaster or Ticketfly or when they sell a ticket, they're selling it for what the band and the promotion company like puts the value on that ticket, but then they charge the fees for their service to do so for the distribution. So fees are hard to get around, but it's just about finding a fee that's like adequate and not doesn't feel like you're really gouging the customer. So what we've been doing for this past 10 years is just more of this open-ended platform where we provide a space for fans to connect with one another, but they communicate in the site and they transact through the site, but it does use PayPal as the merchant provider. And that's been fine for a while because they do provide a level of insurance, but it really it's limited. So often there's cases where PayPal only protects the buyer. Um, it reaches a point where we mediate as customer service and admins as much as we can, and if a dispute does need to occur, we're like, okay, so now you have to go to PayPal to go file a dispute. Let us know how it goes.
It's out of your hands.
It's out of our hands at that point, and we really hate that. And I think the customer does too. The fans, want to know that they're on Cash or Trade and they're using the service and that we have their back. So we've had it with third-party services. It's a pain in the neck for us, and we really just can't protect the users the way we want to. So we're in the process of integrating our escrow platform, a whole new payment service. It's going to be a lot quicker to check out and more efficient. And in the end of the day, Cash or Trade is going to be able to hold the funds in escrow. So we don't have to pay out a seller until either after the event, or if they're like a proven seller with like reviews and history on the platform, they can get paid out sooner. But we'll be able to hold those funds and pay it out right away. If there's any sort of issues that we need to handle at the time or file a dispute and need to make a judgment call there, we can refund the buyer immediately. So we're really looking forward to cutting out that bottleneck of PayPal. We will be providing, it's basically a free service. Cash or Trade's a free service. And if you want to have increased premium features, you can become a gold member.
What are those features?
So, for example, you can get push notifications or text alerts. So you can create an alert saying, this is the ticket I'm looking for, this day, this venue, this band, this seat even. And you can be notified when it's posted.
Nice.
So you don't have to always be checking. You can just be notified and you can reply. You can also reply right away. Other fans have to wait up to 10 minutes. And it just provides enough of a window for a gold member to have that opportunity to apply first. In the end of the day, CashorTrade is first come, first serve, unlike any other platform, any other ticketing platform, I should say. So the seller really does get an opportunity to look through profiles, read reviews, see who their friends are, see their photos, and make a choice of who they want to work with and who they trust the most. So, yeah, the gold member offers that level of convenience, but we're going to take it a step further. Once we launch the escrow platform, we will have a small fee. It'll be a 10% fee to transact. But if you're a gold member, we're going to do it at cost.
Nice.
Gold members are the most loyal members on the platform, and they do a lot of buying and selling. So we just want to reward a gold member who's active on our platform for just doing it at cost. And that'll just be like whatever it costs us for the credit card fees to process the transaction is what we'll do, which can be as low as 3%. The plan is with having a 10% transaction fee is going to be able to allow us to provide 100% money back guarantee to all users who use the platform. But as being the gold member, as I mentioned, they'll only have that basically at cost. So just whatever it costs us in the credit card fees, which is usually around 3%. So the gold members will get that benefit of being able to transact at that cost, and all else will have that 10% fee, but we'll finally be able to provide a full insurance to the user and that money back guarantee, and that those funds will be held in escrow with CashorTrade, so we can better provide protection beyond what we're able to do with PayPal. Now that being said, I think it's important to note that on all other platforms, not only are these tickets listed far above face value, sometimes 5 times above face value, but then they also have fees that start at 20% and go as high as 35%. They also lack transparency, so you very rarely know the fee that you're going to get charged until you check out. Certain events that have more demand have a higher fee. So, to be buying a ticket that's already listed way above face value with 35% fees, that's a huge chunk, Now, for sellers, most platforms are charging sellers 15% to list their tickets. So a seller has to mark their ticket up above face value just to get their money back. And then they're competing on these platforms that are riddled with professional brokers. So the average fan has to spike up their ticket price, compete with brokers, and they're just like, dude, I got 2 weeks left. I just want to get my money back, I don't want to have to play businessman here. Actually, you know what? Doesn't your brother need those tickets? Let's give them to him, And we feel that or the research shows that 2/3 of the people who have tickets in hand are normal fans, just like me and you, who didn't buy the ticket in the beginning with the intent to profit. We just wanted to go to the show. Now we're bummed that we can't, So with 2/3 of those people and 50 million tickets being bought and sold in the United States every year, that's still a large number of tickets. And we see them going to their social networks. I mean, really, real fans are turning away from the secondary ticket market altogether. More face value tickets end up on Twitter and Facebook and Reddit than any other secondary ticket platform. And, but the problem there is that it's not great exposure. So you only post on your wall or something to your friends. And there's no protection. Nobody's looking over the communication or the messaging or checking out if somebody's a sketchy user. And there's no way to gain credibility in the end. So there's no review process. So that's why we built CashorTrade, to provide these 3 opportunities that average fans aren't getting otherwise, and at that very low fee. So it's free to sell tickets on CashorTrade. If the seller's putting their ticket up, we don't want to charge them anything, So we're all about that, and we want to incentivize them to do so. And then just for the buyer, we're just going to have a very small transaction fee that beats out every other ticket platform on the planet, to try to keep it as low as we possibly can, but yet provide 100% insurance and money back guarantee.
3,000 users per month. When
Yeah.
did that growth blow up and start becoming so big?
So it's been growing. It's been almost exponential. For a long time, this has just been really word of mouth. We haven't really, had funds to raise a large marketing budget of any sort. Sure, my brother and I would attend a festival or a show and set up a CashorTrade tent and teach people about it, or we'd post on social media. But that's basically about it. Mostly it's been word of mouth. We have a little under 200,000 users right now. And we'd love to see the influx of new users. So we hope to bring that from 3,000 to 5,000 a month and more. Basically, our goal is to be the largest fan community on the internet. And we might be there already, really. There's not a lot of large fan communities, and we want CashorTrade to be that space.
Artist partnership that's just kicked off. I saw on Facebook you posted that Billy Strings, you guys have an official relationship now as their ticket reseller, and then more recently you're working with Vermont's Twiddle.
Yes.
Are there other bands that you were hoping to work with? And then also, what does this mean as reselling?
Yeah, so we're super excited about those partnerships. It's really been a dream to work with the band themselves to help cut out fraud around their events, and basically help their fans score tickets at what they're selling them for and not get ripped off by these second and third parties. I think we found that artists love this. I mean, in the end of the day, when a broker is scalping a ticket in the secondary market, the artist loses. They're not gaining any of those funds. The fans are upset because they're feeling gouged. The venues lose because often they wind up with empty seats. Brokers use bot programs that buy up all the tickets, as many tickets as they can at once, and they don't really scour like the difference in seats. So they just end up with a bunch of tickets. They sell the best seats. They make the most money. And sometimes they end up just dumping the rest. So there's been stories of some shows where it's a sold-out show, but the floor's kind of empty. That's not good for an artist. The venue's losing on concessions and beer sales. So it's not good for a venue either. So it kind of really destroys the entertainment industry and what everyone set out to do from the beginning. So, so it's really nice to be able to create a partnership with a performer who wants to, endorse CashorTrade and the face value movement and basically join our face value manifesto. We're creating a statement in the community that says, we believe in the face value mission and what CashorTrade's doing, to help support fans. And we're excited to have artists sign on to that mission. To help provide an alternative and a solution to this problem.
How are you able to prevent scalpers from using bots to buy your tickets?
Great question. So as we talked about earlier, CashorTrade's not a first-come, first-served platform, and the seller gets to choose. And a lot of people probably don't think about this, but Airbnb and even Uber operate in that way, where if you look over reviews, you cannot accept. You don't have some sketchy dude sleeping in your bed, who's got bad reviews. So on the CashorTrade front, because it's real fans getting an opportunity to review the offers they've received and look over their profiles, that concept basically eliminates a bot or the ability for a bot to just click to buy, click to buy, click to buy. Because they could do that all they want. In the end of the day, they may never get chosen. And it's really just inefficient for a scalper. So the ROI just isn't there on CashorTrade, whereas you're doing that to a primary ticket company. They're buying up literally thousands of tickets in 2 minutes.
What other partnerships since then have you grown, and what do you hope to grow for new partnerships?
So other than partnering with festivals and artists, we've partnered with media companies. So Osiris Media Network is our recent. So they have 28 podcasts under them, and growing. And they become good friends, and it's just really great to have a media partnership going on where we can not only promote and push each other's work, but sort of teach people about the face value movement through their platform. We've been talking with a number of publications as well, jambase.com being one of them. So yeah, we're excited to expand, not just in the artist and festival realm, but in the media outlets as well.
That's really awesome to hear that you guys have achieved that from 2009 getting shut out, or it was 2004 being shut out of Fish, and to now making sure that everybody can get to the concerts that they wanna be at.
It's interesting you mentioned 2004 because that's when Fish went on hiatus. We started seeing Fish in '93, so we were just like average fans on tour, and then come 2004 and they stopped. We kind of like hunkered down in Vermont, and then 5 years later, it's 2009, and those tickets sold out right away, and they were for $2,000 online a piece. And that's what kind of shook us. Like, of course we knew it was going to sell out, but seeing the price of tickets online was like, what has happened? And then we just kind of looked back at it, and we realized, like, Facebook started in 2004. StubHub started in 2004. So, like, the internet was really just getting off the ground. And, in that business realm. And then here we were kind of, like, hiding out for 5 years. And then what we realized was, like, wow, nobody's standing in line in a brick and mortar box office anymore. Maybe the scalper or broker was in front of you in line. Now everything's online. And brokers, they're just people who have been doing this for a long time to feed their families and have a business. But what's happened was now they were able to use software. So now they're sophisticated. And the bot programs and pricing software has basically just made them super efficient in the marketplace. So they're just able to gobble up all these tickets and then go use them on these other platforms with these high fees, and really just kind of gouge the entertainment industry. So in the end, like, you almost can't blame them so much for just like being efficient in their job, but at the same time, that because there's not those constraints or restrictions, it's allowed them to sort of have like an open market on it. So we hope to change that.